My vision for economic justice is a world free of oppression and discrimination, where the social, cultural, ecological rights of all people are upheld and where the dignity of all people is celebrated. In particular, folks that have been excluded for a long time. So I imagine an economically just world would particularly have opportunities for small-scale farmers, for refugees, for displaced people, for women, for youth, and bring them into a just environment where they can live freely, they can enjoy the pleasures of life, have a safe home, thriving communities, delicious food, and joy. And their love would flow freely, and there wouldn't be a place for hate. I lead an organization called IDEX, International Development Exchange, and IDEX identifies, evaluates, and grows the best ideas from grassroots leaders and their visionary organizations that are working to confront and build solutions to the most pressing challenges in their communities. IDEX also connects a passionate and engaged network of supporters here in the US to these incredible solutions coming from the grassroots. And so I get to learn every day from incredible leaders and movements in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. And in IDEX's small way, we're able to resource some of this work and able to broker connections and, most importantly, visibilize many of these incredible solutions that people are creating for themselves and their own communities. So, when I think about a story that really talks to me about transformative economic justice, I think about one of IDEX's long-term partner organizations in Guatemala called AFEDES. They work in Zacatepeques, and they organize women, indigenous women. It's an entirely indigenous women-led organization that has done an incredible amount of work in building the power of women in the community to be decision makers. That's an amazing story about them. Years ago, they ran a very successful microcredit program. And in about 7 years into running that program, where they were able to raise the economic indicators in their community, they paused and reflected on what was happening to the empowerment of women in their community. And they realized that, in fact, women were actually worse off. In some cases, the debt in the household had increased so much that people were actually not able to invest in the long-term well-being, that there was also nutritional issues. Many of the children were malnourished, and that domestic violence was actually on an increase. And so this organization, in a profound and community-based way, actually went through a reflection period where they decided that what they really wanted to invest in was programs that would build the long-term capacity of women. So one of the things they did was they started training the local indigenous women in agroecology. They started doing workshops on community violence. They started to do these community dialogues to get people sensitized to some of the sociocultural factors inside of their community and not purely the economic ones. And as a result, now actually 10 years into this new program, their community has been thriving. And it's not just the economic indicators, but also the indicators of social, cultural, and ecological change that have really developed and transformed. My time at the Opportunity Collaboration has been amazing. I've met some incredible leaders from all over the world that are passionate, dedicated towards ending poverty in our lifetime. I know that that may not happen, but I love that that this group really believes that it's in their power and it's their responsibility to do something to make change possible and to make change lasting. I've found people that I'm sure I'll be in deep collaboration with, but just the dialogue itself has been the biggest takeaway for me. In the conversations with people, I've learned a lot, and I think I've been able to contribute the little I know about working directly with communities so that people can imagine a way in which development work, economic justice work, social change work can be actually more participatory, more conscious, and more truthful in its goals and in who it engages. It's not just about thinking about beneficiaries, but it's actually about thinking about engagement with people in solidarity. And so that's been really exciting that folks have come to this with such curiosity and open to dialogue. The other thing that I take away from it is I had a chance to be a moderator this year, and that's a deep privilege and a deep honor to get to be part of leading a group for a 4-day period through reflecting on their own leadership, their own relationship to power, and how best to make use of a space like this by deeply listening and attending to each other. So I've really appreciated the privilege of getting to do that as well. I think the unconference approach allows people, as one of the readings in our colloquia said, leave their mental business card behind and really connect with each other as human beings. I think that format, although not accessible to everyone and also not easy for everyone, is an interesting format that doesn't force us into panels and plenaries and scripted discussions. Although it's a space where dialogue is and sort of organic collaboration is first and foremost, one of the things I really also appreciate is that money is not off the table. There's a complete consciousness that there are people here who are here to seek resources for their important work and also to teach people about their innovations. There's an awareness that there are people here with wealth who can bring resources to the table. And so I think the fact that money is not considered something that we don't talk about, but is an obvious factor in so many conferences, particularly as it connects to philanthropy, I actually really appreciate that. As in any space where you bring people of different classes together, there are clear barriers to doing this work effectively. But the other thing I really like about the space is that it's a learning space. And every year it seems that it gets better.